You're not watching this by accident. Something within you led you here, to this video, at this exact moment. And by the time you finish, you'll understand why. There are times in life when you sense a presence, even if no one is physically near. A gentle warmth in your chest, a chill that isn't from the air, a wave of calm in the middle of chaos. You're not seeking it, you're not trying to explain it, but it's there, like something quietly watching over you from a place just beyond your senses. It doesn't always show up in ways you can name or touch, but when your inner awareness begins to stir, that presence starts to show itself in subtle, unmistakable ways, almost as if it's been waiting for the right moment to be seen. The first sign is when you begin noticing small, repeated coincidences that defy logic. You see repeating numbers, mirror hours, sequences again and again. A message arrives just when you need it. Lyrics from a song speak directly to your situation, as if written for you. And while you might try to rationalize it, deep down you know they're not just chance. They're a form of communication. This isn't fantasy or superstition. It's a kind of energetic dialogue, one that doesn't rely on words, but on frequency. To those who are open, the signals are unmistakable, clear and precise. Your spiritual guide doesn't make a scene, it whispers, and to hear it, you don't need long prayers or elaborate rituals. You need presence, awareness, a willingness to receive. Because this connection isn't built through language, but through intuition. When your energy aligns with theirs, the link becomes stronger, more frequent, more natural. You begin to realize you're not imagining things. You're remembering. You don't need to see wings or hear a voice to sense it. Your body notices before your mind catches up. There's a softness in the air, a sweetness that doesn't come from the outside world, a sense of being accompanied, even when you're alone. It feels as if something wraps around you, a gentle, unseen embrace, a loving energy that expects nothing but simply wants to be near. And this feeling doesn't only come during calm moments. Sometimes it shows up in confusion, at times of surrender. When you're unsure what to do, and suddenly without any obvious reason, you feel that things will be okay, even if nothing around you has changed. That's not luck. It's energetic support, a subtle message that you're not alone. Keep going. This connection often shows up as quiet, persistent intuition, a thought that arises unexpectedly, a nudge that tells you to change direction, a sudden impulse that leads you exactly where you need to be. These aren't random thoughts, they're messages, felt, not spoken, filtered through your own perception. Your guide doesn't take over your path. It walks beside you, gently illuminating the way, and when it speaks, it does so in a manner that only you can recognize. Because that relationship is personal, intimate, sacred. There are moments when you feel strangely protected, as if something unseen stepped between you and potential harm. A last-minute decision, a shift in plans, a quiet voice that redirected you at just the right time. These aren't accidents. They're quiet interventions from a place that sees more than your eyes ever could. And they happen not because you asked, but because you allowed it. Because your energy, without realizing it, opened to the unseen. And that openness is all that's needed for communication to begin. Not as a voice from outside, but as a familiar presence you've always carried. The only difference now is you're finally beginning to notice it, and this noticing doesn't happen through hearing. It happens in your chest, your body, the quiet arrival of a calm certainty. You don't need to be deep in meditation to feel it. It might come during a walk, while doing something routine, or in the middle of one of your hardest days, because spiritual guides don't only show up when things are peaceful. They appear when you need them most, without being asked. Have you felt that a decision that once felt confusing now feels clear? As if a quieter, wiser part of you has started leading, not with explanations but with direction. That's part of the language of your guide. It doesn't offer reasons. It offers resonance. You follow it not because it makes sense, but because it feels right. Sometimes there are physical sensations too, gentle and unexpected. A light pressure in your chest, warmth along your back, a breeze where there is no wind. And though your mind searches for reasons, your soul already understands. You're being touched by something that isn't of this world, yet chooses to walk with you in this one. Your spiritual guide isn't here to rescue you. It's here to remind you of your strength, to walk beside you, not to carry your burden. Each message it shares isn't to give you solutions, but to help you remember you already carry the answers. This guidance doesn't control your choices. It supports them. It doesn't override your path. It reveals what you're ready to see, and when you stop doubting that connection, when you recognize it for what it is, it becomes clearer, more constant, more alive, because the spiritual realm doesn't require evidence. It requires openness, and you've already begun to open. The second sign comes when you start receiving recurring symbolic messages that feel deeply personal. These aren't isolated events. They're part of a pattern, precise, consistent, echoing through your life with a clarity that your inner knowing can't ignore. You start seeing the same word in different places. You dream of something and then encounter it in real life. Specific. Animals appear at meaningful times. Numbers repeat with such precision that calling them coincidences doesn't feel honest anymore. These signals don't arrive from the outside in the way we expect. They travel through a subtle channel, a spiritual frequency your guide uses to reach you. This presence doesn't disrupt or redirect your life. It joins you in it, offering signs and patterns to accompany you. You may not always know what each symbol means, but you feel them, and that feeling is enough. Your soul understands a deeper language, based not on logic but on vibration, energy, intuition. Sometimes it's a single word overheard that strikes you in a profound way. Other times, it's a sentence that finds you just as you're about to give up. Or a song, a number, a passage in a book that appears just when you needed a reminder. These aren't chance events, they're conversations. Your guide is speaking through the world around you. What once felt ordinary now carries meaning. Everyday moments become sacred. As you become more aware of this unseen realm, the signs no longer surprise you. Instead, they fill you with gratitude. You stop needing others to validate what you feel. You simply know. You recognize that you're being supported. And those signs aren't for entertainment or distraction, they're reminders. A gentle confirmation that a loving force walks with you, communicating through symbols. Because that's how the soul speaks. In time, you stop trying to interpret every symbol like a puzzle. You understand their purpose isn't to give you quick answers, but to awaken something forgotten within you. A memory, a sensitivity, a quiet knowing that grows without explanation. The message isn't just in the image or word. It's in how it lands within you, in the moment of pause, in the way your body responds, as if something deep inside you stirs. A string not touched in years begins to hum. These repetitions aren't distractions. They're anchors, anchors to remind you, you are seen, you are guided, you are loved by something beyond words. This guidance is always at work, quietly embedded in what seems ordinary. As your awareness expands and you become more receptive, the sense of randomness fades. Everything starts to hold potential meaning. Anything might be a sign. In those moments, your understanding of reality shifts. You stop seeing the world as random and disconnected. Instead, it becomes a symbolic landscape where spirit communicates through subtle, often invisible cues, through details you once overlooked. It's a wordless dialogue, rich in meaning, that begins when your attention aligns with your energy. Your angel isn't testing you, it's helping you tune in to a deeper way of sensing. When you respond to these signs with presence, when you trust what resonates without needing hard proof, the connection strengthens. Symbols stop being isolated events and begin to serve as confirmation. You move from being a passive observer to an active participant in this unspoken exchange, ready to notice what once slipped by. The third sign is a sudden sense of peace at moments when it seems least likely. Maybe you're facing a difficult situation, dealing with emotional stress, or feeling the pressure of unresolved issues. And then, unexpectedly, a calm settles over you. It doesn't come because circumstances have changed, but because something has shifted inside you. This peace isn't emotional or mental. It isn't from positive thinking or any specific technique. It's deeper. It's the presence of something greater, a calm, steady energy that doesn't need to announce itself to be felt. This presence won't take your burdens away, but it lightens them. It doesn't pull you out of your experience, but it stays with you through it. And you feel that because in the middle of a situation that would normally overwhelm you, something keeps you steady, grounded, and connected to a part of yourself you hadn't accessed before. That center you found isn't just yours, it's shared. It's a sacred point of connection between you and your guide. There's no need for words or promises, just a quiet assurance that somehow things will be okay, even if you can't imagine how. Often, this peace only arrives after you've let go, after you've run out of options, when your strength is gone and your mind stops trying to control what it can't. Instead of spiraling, you find yourself breathing deeply, seeing with new clarity. That clarity and breath don't come from you alone. It's your angel adjusting your frequency, tuning your energy into a space where fear has less control, where only trust remains. And this trust isn't something you learned, it's something given. When that peace arrives, you don't need to question or explain it. You just let it in. Because even if your thoughts don't hold the answers, your soul has already been touched by something greater, something that comforts not through logic, but through a deeper, quieter energy. Sometimes that serenity brings a stillness, a pause you couldn't reach on your own. You're not denying the problem, and you're not pretending the pain isn't real. You're being supported, held, by a presence you can't see, but that surrounds you with pure intention. Don't disconnect. Stay with your center. This is one of the gentlest ways your angel speaks. Not through signs in the sky, but through the quiet that gives space for breath, clarity, and listening. Without that quiet, you'd miss the message beneath the noise. And in those moments, something within you finds balance. The storm outside may continue, but it no longer overwhelms you, not because it's gone, but because something inside you has changed. Your energy has been touched by a higher presence, and that changes everything it reaches. This isn't about a miracle fixing things from the outside. It's about a loving presence helping you remember the strength within you, strength that fear made you forget. And after feeling that kind of peace, you know it wasn't just your imagination. You may not be able to describe it perfectly, but something remains. A lasting vibration, a silent message that told you without words, I'm here with you. The fourth sign is a heightened sensitivity to energy. In certain places or around particular people, your awareness sharpens. Your body begins to act like a spiritual compass. Without any clear reason, you might feel calm in spaces that never gave you peace before, or discomfort in environments that seem otherwise normal. It's not something you can logically explain. It's something you intuitively sense. Your perception becomes more refined because your spiritual guide is helping you tune into your energy field, helping you sense which environments and relationships uplift you and which ones deplete you. This guidance doesn't come in the form of specific instructions. It comes as perception, a kind of knowing that doesn't come from thinking, but from alignment with something deeper. Your body starts responding differently. There are places where you feel you can breathe more fully, There are people around whom you naturally feel more relaxed. It's as though something unseen is gently affirming your presence, letting you know you're being guided. Sometimes you simply feel, yes, this feels right. And at other times, your energy draws back for no apparent reason. You just sense you're not meant to be there. This invisible guidance isn't about setting limits. It's helping you recognize what aligns with your path and what no longer matches your inner frequency. What once felt tolerable now seems burdensome. Things you previously ignored now feel intense. That shift isn't random. It reflects the quiet influence of your angel, guiding you to listen not just with your senses, but with your soul. This new sensitivity isn't a weakness. It's a refined tool. It's one of the gentlest yet most powerful ways the spiritual realm helps you protect your energy and move with clarity, lightness, and truth. Initially, this heightened sensitivity might be confusing. You may wonder why certain places exhaust you or why some people leave you feeling uneasy, even if they haven't done anything noticeable. Over time, you realize it's not judgment, it's awareness. Your energy is now responding more accurately to what your soul has always known. Your spiritual angel isn't here to change the world around you. Their purpose is to help you move through it with deeper awareness, not by altering what you see, but by sharpening what you feel. Each time you pay attention to this subtle language, your connection grows stronger. When you trust what you sense, the guidance becomes more apparent. You don't need outside validation to confirm what you already feel within. When you ignore these inner signals, something inside you feels dimmed. But when you listen, something expands, and that expansion appears through small but meaningful choices. You step away from what drains you, even if you can't fully explain why. You move toward what energizes you, even if no one else understands. You begin to choose with your soul, not just your mind. Each choice informed by this perception brings you closer to your core truth. This is how your angel walks with you, not by solving your problems, but by guiding you to feel from a higher level of awareness. As you trust this inner compass, life begins to align naturally with what truly resonates. You don't force this. It happens through your alignment with your highest frequency. This coherence starts to reflect in all aspects of your life. Without realizing it, you change how you speak, the conversations you value, even the silences you respect. You become less interested in surface-level exchanges. Your refined energy begins to seek depth. Your angel doesn't give you step-by-step instructions. They help you recall what you already knew, hidden beneath the noise. As you honor this guidance, your inner world finds balance. External approval becomes less necessary because internal clarity grows stronger with every intuitive decision. This growing sensitivity not only protects you, it connects you with others who resonate at the same level. You begin to meet people who just get it, who sense the unseen as you do. Suddenly you don't feel out of place or misunderstood. When a soul starts listening to its field and follows unseen guidance, life's tone subtly changes. It becomes softer, clearer, and more aligned. Your angel doesn't walk ahead of you. They walk beside you. Every time you trust that sensitivity, the connection deepens. This isn't measured in words, but in shared vibration. And it remains even when you're not thinking about it, even when you forget. Because in the unseen world, love doesn't have to be remembered to exist. The fifth sign emerges when you feel deeply connected to something greater, especially in silence. It's not just the absence of sound, it's a distinct presence that becomes noticeable when you pause. Whether alone in nature or briefly stepping away from your routine, you feel a soft warmth inside. No thoughts, no explanations, just a sense of wholeness that isn't tied to anything external. That feeling doesn't arise solely from within you. It's your angel drawing near. It's their quiet way of saying, "I'm here," in this stillness. In that moment, time slows. Your breath becomes steady, your mind quiets, and for a brief time everything feels perfectly in place. Nothing needs fixing, nothing is missing. You simply are, fully and peacefully present. This bond becomes more tangible, not because anything dramatic occurs, but because nothing does. In the stillness filled with presence, the connection strengthens. Your angel doesn't need to speak aloud. They communicate with your soul in silence, where words fall short. As you learn to dwell in that quiet space, with openness and no expectations, their guidance grows clearer and more constant. It's not about forcing meditation or achieving some special state. It's about welcoming what's already here, gently, patiently, reverently. That calm presence doesn't originate from you. It arrives to meet you. Each time you step into that silence, you're saying yes to connection, to guidance, to the quiet love that has been there long before you could name it. This silent yes doesn't need to be spoken. It's a felt agreement your soul instantly recognizes. And with each moment of surrender, the bond strengthens, not because the presence increases, but because your ability to sense it grows. Sometimes, closing your eyes for just a few seconds is enough to feel it again. No need to search or explain. You simply return to what's already unfolding naturally. Your communication with your angel isn't something you build, it's something you remember. In silence, you recall what your mind may forget, and your body may doubt, but your energy never stops knowing. It knows the whisper is real. It knows this stillness isn't empty. It's a form of communion. From that space, you begin to feel guided in all areas, not because life becomes easier, but because you become more anchored in your essence, more in tune with the energy that walks with you. Silence turns into a wordless form of prayer, a bridge between worlds, a space where the divine doesn't feel distant, but present, within and all around you. And in that quiet, you begin to discover the most sacred truths. Your angel doesn't require dramatic signs to communicate. They just need you to listen when everything else goes quiet. The sixth sign reveals itself when you begin to notice your thoughts, emotions, or words gently shifting towards something more in sync with your core. You might be on the verge of saying something misaligned, but you pause. You're about to act from fear, but something tells you to wait. There's no audible voice or obvious signal, just an inner redirection. A silent nudge that changes your course. That's not coincidence, it's a subtle form of intervention. It's your angel quietly influencing your mental field, not to control you, but to support you in staying aligned, not to control you, but to help you return to your center. You begin to notice that thoughts which once consumed you now fade more quickly, as though a deeper awareness is gently realigning your direction. You're alert, but it doesn't feel like control. It feels like guidance, a presence that doesn't interfere, but quietly protects and redirects you to your inner truth. Some days, you'll find yourself acting with more kindness, more calm, more awareness, without having made any conscious decision to do so. It arises naturally, as if a higher version of yourself, deeply attuned to your spiritual guide, briefly takes the lead. This influence doesn't override your choices. It uplifts them. It reminds you of who you are beneath the noise. It reconnects you with your true energy, not through force, but through gentleness. And the more you lean into this flow, the more familiar it becomes. Your energy aligns, your words carry more intention, and your presence becomes clearer. Because this connection isn't trying to reshape you from the outside, it's helping you reconnect from within. And as you begin to live from that grounded state, the world around you begins to respond differently. Situations that once unsettled you no longer have the same effect. Not because you've trained your mind to resist, but because something greater is working with and around you. You realize this inner redirection happens constantly, in small decisions, in thoughts you choose not to chase, in how you now respond with care instead of reacting automatically. And often, these shifts aren't fully conscious. There's something beside you, gently holding your field, guiding you when your awareness falters, reminding you that your soul already knows the way. Your spiritual angel isn't here to fix you. They're here to help you remember, and they do it without pressure, shame, or blame. Their presence is tender, filled with patience. They meet you exactly where your energy begins to soften, where your awareness opens to healing. It's like an internal rhythm. You may step off course, but something subtle brings you back, not with fear, but with truth, not with force, but with care. When you've felt this more than once, when you recognize this quiet companionship, you stop doubting. You realize your shifts in thought, your healing, aren't accidental. You're not navigating this alone. There's a presence beside you on a subtle level, reminding you again and again of your essence. The seventh sign appears when you begin to feel deep gratitude for no apparent reason. Not the kind of thanks that follows good news or fulfilled wishes. This is quiet, spontaneous gratitude with no specific cause. It arises from within, wordlessly, needing no explanation. It's not a thought. It's a vibration from the soul, awakened by the gentle presence of your spiritual angel. It can appear during a walk, a pause in your day, a glance at the sky. Suddenly something opens in you, and it all feels meaningful, even if you can't put it into words. A warmth rises from your chest and fills your being. You don't need to be in a good place to feel it. Sometimes it arrives in difficult moments, when everything feels uncertain, but somehow something lights up inside. A part of you understands you're being supported, guided, and held by a force beyond what you can see, but not beyond what you can feel. This kind of gratitude doesn't ask for anything, it just flows. And when it does, it transforms you. Your heart softens, your awareness expands. You begin to understand this feeling doesn't come from what you've earned, but from what you've remembered, that you've never been alone. And this quiet gratitude starts to shift your energy, effortlessly. It's not something you do. It's a state of openness to the invisible, a way of saying to the spiritual world, I'm here, I'm listening, I'm ready. Even if nothing changes on the outside, this inner shift changes everything. The heavy feels lighter, the unclear becomes more defined, the pain becomes easier to carry. Your spiritual angel doesn't remove the journey, but they illuminate it. And in that soft, subtle light, a deep thankfulness is born. Not one tied to outcomes, but one rooted in something far older than your current circumstances. With time, this gratitude becomes a quiet companion. It stays with you, even in the unknown. It doesn't take pain away, but reminds you there's a safety net beneath it all, a soft guidance in every step. A presence you may not always notice, but that never leaves. And that presence is love. Not emotional or romantic love, but love as pure energy, protective awareness, and eternal presence. Gratitude then becomes your new language. You don't need to request or understand, just give thanks from that still place where your soul recognizes the guidance and honors it without noise or display. Just you, your angel, and a sacred connection that doesn't need to be seen to be real. Not all messages come in words. Some arrive as calm, as intuition, as this unexplainable gratitude. When you begin to feel this, it's not something new happening. It's you finally hearing what's always been present. Your angel doesn't speak from outside. They remind you from within. And once you feel that, the connection becomes undeniable. If this message stirred something within you, if a light flickered as you listened, don't ignore it. That's your soul responding to a truth it's always carried. Subscribe to Whispers of the Soul. Keep walking this path of awareness, connection, and light. You didn't come here to learn something new. You came to remember what your soul already knew.